I was talking with someone recently who studied a lot of religions and ultimately has chosen, at least so far, to be New Age and to practice New Age beliefs in transcendental meditation. And I got the impression that she felt like the divine is the highest form of us. Like there is no other outside of us God. There's just these higher consciousnesses, levels of ourselves, right? We're our own solution. We make our own destiny, etc., etc. And this is a really common teaching. More and more people are picking up on it. It's seeping into our, culture in lots of interesting ways. But the part that I feel like sometimes people are really way too okay with is how void of relationship that conclusion is. So she was saying, why would there be a heaven? Like basically reincarnation made a lot more sense to her because you carry epigenetics and you are living a life that's not fair. So these are her main two reasons of concluding that reincarnation exists and heaven doesn't. And obviously I'm not going to get into the religious side of it. I think there's heaven. I've seen glimpses of heaven. Many people have. I don't think there's more evidence for reincarnation at all. I think there's more evidence for there being one human life that continues after death. And that's totally different, opposing belief. But the part I found striking, the part I found so interesting was that if there's no God, then there's no relationship with God. You are wired for friendship. You're wired for community. You don't feel fully alive and you don't thrive unless you're in the context of a group. That's how we exist. And we know this, right? Any psychologist would tell you that. You can't be totally alone. Yet somehow this belief system that she has is really okay with there being nothing else but you and you going inside to solve all your own problems and write your own story. There's no relationship, there's no friendship, it's just you. I don't want that. I mean, I want to know whatever the truth is, and I stand on that. Like, I'm one of those people who wants to know if I'm wrong. Some people have said the exact opposite to me, like, well, I'll still be living a good life even if there's no heaven at the end. Like, I am happy. I don't want to know if God doesn't exist, stuff like that. And I'm like, that has never resonated with me. I want to know how it actually works. But I wouldn't want there to be no God, no Yahweh that's not me, that's different and other than me and holy. I wouldn't want that to be wrong because he's my friend. And what was interesting to me was that she's never had a relationship with God because she thinks that she is God. That's what she's been taught. And the people who believed in God, it sounded like, throughout her story, her past history, were not as loving, not as enlightened, not as patient, not as kind as these people who do these spiritual practices that point to you being your own God. I may have some of this wrong. Please feel free to correct me. I just wonder how that works out with our innate wiring, our innate desire to be in community, to have friends, to relate, to connect. It's like you're just connecting to yourself, a more evolved version of yourself. That's still yourself. You're still alone in that scenario. Who decides what you get reincarnated as? You? Anyway, I guess I could Google that part. But relationship with Jesus, this thing that gets called Christianity a lot, it's about relationship. I have the honor of knowing this God. And he's definitely not me, and I'm definitely not him. But in a sense, he so indwells me, and he so possesses me, and he so connects with me so closely and so knows me, and I so know him, and I so connect with him, and I so, operate in his strength and power and life and breath, that there is a sense in which, and please don't hear me wrong when I say this, of course, that it's like, I am you, you are me, like I'm you in the world, you're me in the world, kind of thing. And I don't know how to explain that to people who have never experienced that relationship. It's not the same as what she was describing and experiencing in her practice. It's like similar but better. I mean, in my opinion, I don't want to sound like a jerk, but I want that for her. I want her to feel and experience the love of God, because she's a very loving person, and I think it would be really cool if she would encounter the person Jesus instead of just thinking of him as one of many paths, or a name that a lot of energy gets put into and therefore is powerful. Okay, I don't know how I'm wrapping up this rant. I don't know if it is a rant. It's just a distinction I noticed between the popular growing religion of the day and the traditional concept of Jesus being a real person that is God. That's kind of the dividing line. A lot of it overlaps. The emphasis on love, the spiritual energy and power stuff, healing, a lot of it overlaps, and we could geek out all day. And I really got along with her great in this conversation because we both care about a lot of those same things, and we're both operating in God's love on a huge level. It's just she just doesn't know it by name. Anyway, have a blessed day. I'm sure I'll share more thoughts later.